Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends, as this video is brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey everyone, happy Monday night. Welcome to the Look Back podcast. I am Sam Holt, joined as always by the wonderful Madi Kroll, and this is brought to you by drroto.com. Get your daily prescription of fantasy sports. Madi, what was that game that we all just had to watch? What was that? No one signed up for this.
No, I tuned in late and I was like, what is happening? I was looking to see who got hurt, like what happened. That I didn't know.
No.
So confusing.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, this was supposed to be the Rams coming out with their brand new toys, showing them off. Von Miller, OBJ, especially after the unfortunate Robert Woods injury. And then, okay, so, he's out. Immediately, Odell's going to get all the touches. He's going to see more looks. This is supposed to be a high-powered offense with a crazy, amazing defense. Where is it?
Where was any of it?
Where was any of
it? Wasn't even like it was one side of the ball came out and just pounded it. No, nobody was there.
No, they didn't show up on either side of the ball, but what did show up was Kyle Shanahan being an evil genius. And we were just talking off the air, but I think there has to be some sort of mini series, maybe in the next couple of years, that HBO comes out with, that's just chronologically like doing some sort of saga on these coaches playing mind games with each other, because that's what it felt like today. It was just a giant mind game, and McVay was scratching his head the entire time.
So were the rest of us.
Yeah, and I think like, you know what?
Yeah, I think that you hit nail on the head. I said, like, you are a genius for this idea.
They should absolutely do it.
You need to like get a trademark on that or some type of copyright something so that you can capitalize on that.
Right, $1 million idea. I mean, just the way that Deebo Samuel was used as a running back in this game tonight was crazy and completely unexpected. Obviously, we know that the Niners have an amazing run-first offense, and everyone knows that, but we weren't expecting it from him.
Not from Deebo Samuel, no. Nope.
No. That was super weird. 5 rushing attempts for 36 yards and a touchdown. Plus, he had amazing receiving stats as well. So if you started him, you're very happy. He was 5 for 5 on his catches and targets, 97 yards and a touchdown as well. Huge game for him. Little underwhelming for Elijah Mitchell, but the Niners didn't really need him to step up in crazy ways today. It was like they literally had everything else covered.
Literally everything else. I think that they looked out that the Rams came to not play.
Yeah.
I guess is what we're going to call it.
I
but
guess.
This was typically on Monday nights. You can come home, like you can make your dinner while you're watching the game.
Yeah.
It's just nice and relaxing. It's like a good way to slowly enter the week.
Yep.
Tonight, I felt like I had to sit there with like a pen and paper and be able to rewind to even keep up with it all. I don't know.
No, same. I love that everyone kind of has this tradition, and I do as well. I'm in the middle of making dinner, and I'm like burning my food as I'm going. I'm like, wait, what? Like every time I'm having to do a double take, and I'm also upset that my house is just slightly like not fully open concept, so I can't just see the TV while I'm cooking dinner. Like it's just a little bit like I would just literally drag the oven away from the wall just so I can like lean and like actually watch the game. But it's just
you have what are those little grills that you weren't allowed to have in your dorm room in college?
Oh my gosh, I should get a little George Foreman grill.
Just have it in your living room.
Monday nights are just George Foreman it up in the living room, just like kebab style, just like grilling it up.
They should sponsor you for that.
They should. Oh my gosh, that should
you
be
could
the show.
do a little
I'm just
live.
grilling and like cooking in the middle of Monday Night Football and just like doing a little underline.
We'll get a camera on you.
Love that. Yeah.
Get some commentary.
And I'll just be chatting as I'm cooking, so people can flip back and forth between, the Manning show and then me just like cooking in my living room and just like trying to not light my living room on fire. That'd be hilarious.
I'm here for that. I would have a great time. I'd go split screen.
Oh my God, I love it.
I've been without internet for a week. And so I didn't get to watch a lot of the games the way I normally do.
Yeah.
And so I just kept thinking, like, am I really off my game this much? Like, did a few days really make that big of a difference? I'm glad it wasn't just me.
No, it wasn't just you, and it wasn't like some sort of weird jinx in the universe that you weren't able to tune in, and so all these games went crazy. There were so many games that just went off and went nuts. Let's go ahead and jump straight into them. The Patriots absolutely smoked the Browns. I mean, the Browns defense was one that, I had in a couple leagues and I, would still start and just thought, oh yeah,
Mhm.
they're going to have a day and, give Mac Jones, a run for his money. No, not even in the sense. Negative points from that defense. Just like, cool. That was great.
I had kind of an epiphany, and I don't know if this is gonna change, but one thing that I've noticed is the Browns are really terrible when defending quarterbacks under center,
Mhm.
specifically under center play action.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I've tried to pinpoint it down, like, what's the actual issue, but for some reason, those tackles, it doesn't work, and
Yeah.
I went back and the games that they had lost, because I was just kind of curious once I saw that. I was like, "Okay, is it just me? Am I going crazy? Am I seeing too much into it?" Because I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I went back and watched the Chargers game, same thing. They can't defend a quarterback under center, specifically in play action. It's they can do whatever they want,
Yeah.
but the Patriots can go the middle of the field on the Browns all day long, and they don't care.
Yeah. No, it just
Wild.
it was wild to just see, their normal things just not landing, not working. And I mean, obviously, the chatter with a game like when you have someone like Mac Jones, who is, young quarterback, filling in the shoes of Tom Brady, and like it's already happening where it's like this is an MVP conversation, rookie of
Mhm.
the year, and he is the next Tom Brady. And to me, like, yes, this was a great game. Not going to deny it was a great game. I still feel like it is too soon to throw out comparisons like that. Maybe it's just I feel like you got to kind of earn your stripes, and I'm like
Mhm.
this is still too soon. Like we cannot label him the next Tom Brady after one amazing game.
And you know what's crazy is people should be saying, "Okay, this ends the Belichick-Brady debate
Yeah.
on," and no one's talking about that. Like, can we talk about the fact that he's the most successful rookie quarterback out of his class right now?
Yeah.
Is he the most talented? Absolutely not.
No.
He doesn't even have the best weapons around him.
Nope.
So what is the difference? He is being coached that way, so let's
Yes.
give credit where credit's due, and nobody's talking about that.
That is such a great point. I've not heard that once this entire weekend. Like as soon
Drives
as the
me
game was
nuts.
over, like there was not a single mention of like, Bill really knows how to coach a young quarterback. There was not a single sentence of that. And it's absolutely true. He is definitely being the most consistent performer of his class. Completely agree with you there. But yeah, he doesn't have crazy amazing talent around him. I mean, obviously, Ramondre Stevenson went absolutely off this weekend.
Went off.
20 attempts with 200 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, like those are ridiculous video game numbers. You love to see it. And obviously Mac Jones did have 3 passing touchdowns, but he only had 98 yards. Like you kind of expect 3 touchdowns to be somewhere over 200, at least getting closer to 300 yards. But he's not in that offense. He's never going to have those crazy yards.
And I don't think he will ever have those crazy yards, period.
No, not in
That's
this
not his
scheme.
strength.
No.
Yeah. So, they're playing up his strengths and it's working. I have a question for you though. How do you
Yeah.
feel about Harris? Because I had this debate with one of my patients. Would you obviously he's not somebody that you go out and start every week, but do you feel comfortable having him on your bench?
I feel comfortable having him on my bench. I think it just has to depend on the matchup. Obviously, it's always matchup dependent on how I'm gonna start someone like that in that tier in terms
Mhm.
of running back, but I mean, I don't know, it's just obviously he was out, so it's like I mean, you're talking Damian Harris, yes?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I mean, it's just like I think in any other time, he's healthy, he's on the field, he's running back in this offense, he's gonna get utilized. I'm gonna start him. I mean, he has a good enough floor. I mean, even, week 9 against the Panthers, he did have 1 rushing touchdown, which saved you on your week. So at least he has
Mhm.
that kind of floor, and he has at least a touchdown in the last 5 weeks that he was playing. So he has a good floor. Flexibility, great. It just depends on how deep your league is on whether or not you'd wanna risk flexing him there.
See, I said the same thing. I said he's worth having on your bench.
Yeah, he's absolutely worth rostering. He's not someone that
Yeah.
I would drop. No. I feel like the term even saying, "Oh, he's droppable." Like, we're in the middle of the season. We're in
Mhm.
week 10 going into week 11. I'm not dropping anyone that would remotely get close to giving another team an advantage in any scenario.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that. I
Yeah,
hope
no.
he's listening.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hope you're tuning in. You're tuning in to the Look Back podcast with Sam and Maddie, and we're just covering all the fun stuff of the week that was. But no, I mean, also I get a lot of questions on like, oh, well, depending on the player, you know, would you start them? And they're asking me questions on players that I feel like oh my god, Rashad Bateman. Should you be starting him? I'm like, who he's available in your league? Like, I don't have a single league that I'm in where he's available. Like, how deep and or how shallow are these leagues that people are in that they're like, should I pick him up? Like, yes. Like,
Isn't
unless
it wild?
what? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Sometimes I see things in my leagues and I have to go check, like, did I miss a tweet? Did I miss some breaking news? Why is this player available?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, even going back to this Patriots game too, and if you're kind of struggling at the tight end position, I keep talking about Hunter Henry because things you can count on week in and week out. Is he gonna have at least 3 catches? Yes. Is he gonna have at least 1 touchdown? Yes. So is he gonna
Mhm.
save your tight end position? Yes. Obviously Hunter Henry had a great week, 4 for 4 in his catches, 37 yards. You're not excited about any of those numbers, but he had 2 touchdowns. He's getting the red zone looks. Like, that is a consistent single target you can count on, it seems like, week in and week out.
Right, and the Patriots take the ball to the middle of the field, and
Mhm.
he's gonna win out in the middle of the field 9 times out of 10. So, I agree, I think that he should be on a roster.
Absolutely. And I mean, in terms of just like other leagues too, I mean, I don't know how many leagues you're in as well that are maybe single or 2 quarterback situations, but Mac Jones is someone that should at least be stashed on someone's bench so that no one else can start him, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, just
I
depends on how deep your league is.
I think yeah, I think it definitely depends on what's available.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Jalen Hurts as my
Mhm.
number 2 quarterback right now just because he's always gonna put up fantasy numbers. It's just the way it
Absolutely.
is.
No, with the rushing floor that he has, it's fantastic, and I think, he keeps getting better as the season is going as well. You just love to see that uptick, that usage, that
Mhm.
consistency too. I mean, quarterback that we're gonna talk about next too is, Patrick Mahomes and how he was kinda missing out on some of that consistency, but he had a big get right game against the Raiders, and I don't know if that's just like, okay, fantasy managers can now breathe a sigh of relief, they have their Patrick Mahomes back, or is this just the Chiefs against the Raiders, and that's why it was such a good game?
He said, "I got my swagger back." I died. I was just
Oh my god.
oh, I felt so bad for him because he's had a tough season and he
Mhm,
shouldered all that responsibility. Um, I think really what changed here is Travis Kelce decided to wake up a little bit.
mhm. Yeah, he definitely got his feet back underneath him. Tyreek Hill as well had a fantastic game. Darrell Williams had a fantastic
Darrell
game.
Williams had a great game, yeah.
Huge passing game. He had 100 receiving yards and 9 for 9 on his catches and a touchdown as well. Plus he had 43 rushing yards, which you love. I mean, when the Chiefs are clicking on all fronts, they're absolutely unbeatable. But what
Mhm.
killed you this whole season was not having that consistency. I just wonder if they're going to have it as consistent rest of season.
I don't think that they are.
No, I think this was a really great game, and I mean, he's definitely gonna have more games that have, big boom potential, but, I mean, if you're someone that has him because you were counting on this every single week, like, you're still gonna be kinda wanting for more.
Right. And in my opinion, they continue to make the exact same mistakes that they've been making all season. Nothing changed other than the fact that a few things clicked here and there, and they were able
Mhm.
to play that safe ball, is what I call it. I think
Yeah.
that if this was a more difficult defense, that would have not that wouldn't have happened.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that the Raiders capitalized on those mistakes that they were making either.
No, and they were struggling within their own. you can tell that the situation that's happening off the field is really affecting them.
Yeah. I mean, last week, like, they had a good week, but it's a down week again. And I mean, I just feel so bad for the rest of the Raiders organization that's dealing with all of the drama that's happened this entire season. Like, how can you then week in and week out string together consistency when you've got so much going on behind the scenes? It's just,
Yeah.
it's got to be really rough.
You think about it, that's their family, that's
Yeah.
somebody that they love, that they cared for, and so that's just a lot, I think, to take in and process and to continue to focus and remain together with a ton of chemistry, like, that's just difficult.
Oh, yeah. I yeah, I don't get it. I mean, hopefully brighter days are ahead for the Raiders. Obviously, we're looking for bright spots in fantasy anywhere we can, but it was just a rough game to watch.
Yeah.
I think one that was just a little bit rougher to watch just because it was like this is too soon was the Packers absolutely shutting out the Seahawks and us all saying and looking around like, did they need to bring Russ back? Did they could they have waited a
That
week?
that was so bad.
It was so
And the whole video, did you see the video? With
no.
Oh, that
The
was
return.
cringe. That was cringe. This whole
Oh my
game
god,
was
I heard about it.
cringy
Yeah, it was
between Rodgers, the quarterbacks. It was like battle of the cringe, I felt like this week.
it Rodgers didn't look great either. The only thing that you liked was just how much they could trust and lean on AJ Dillon when Aaron Jones went out, and he is obviously a fantastic back. If you don't have him in Dynasty and you have Aaron Jones, you're doing yourself a disservice. You should have gotten him. He is a
Yes.
fantastic backup, and he's, if how long, I don't know if it came out exactly what the injury was for Aaron Jones. I know it was a knee issue. I
Something
mean,
with knee, yeah.
yeah, I don't know if they announced like a tear of something. I have not heard that yet,
Me
but
either.
fingers crossed it's not. And it's just like, it's a little bit going to be weird this week. But if it is, you have AJ Dillon as your backup, or at least hopefully
Great
you do.
backup. Great
Crying out
backup.
loud. Quad City in AJ Dillon. But he just had a fantastic week.
Quad City.
Quad City. I've heard that around before. It's not mine. I can't take credit. But no, he's just absolutely fantastic. I mean, obviously Rodgers is shaking off his own drama that he was dealing with all the last week as well. So it wasn't going to be a perfect game of him getting back. Better days are ahead. It's Aaron Rodgers. I'm not really concerned.
Yeah. And honestly, Aaron Rodgers thrives off that stuff.
He really does.
Just really annoying.
Yeah. Like as soon as you like it's like when he has a down week, he kind of like needs it so that he has like just a great week the following week.
Did you
Like
see any of the off-field drama with Shailene Woodley?
I saw a couple of her story posts, but not that
Oh
many.
my goodness.
Like
It's wild. Absolutely wild.
a little cringy as well. But
Yeah.
hey, good for you. Defend your man. But at what cost?
At what cost? She also was the one who came on national television last year and said somebody asked her a football question. She was like, I mean, he throws balls for a living. And that was her answer. And I was
I
like,
know.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like just the I remember
That's
that
totally
too.
somebody Aaron Rodgers would date.
Yeah.
Marry, obviously.
Yeah. No, he's great. Like my dog just loves it that he can throw him the ball really far. It's like yeah, okay. It's like I'm also I'm not one to be like, football is the end all be all. I am aware that there's more to life outside of football. However, it is a juggernaut of an industry, and to slight it in that way of just like it's just that. It's like, is it? Because I'm pretty sure it's like $1 billion industry on its
Right.
own. Like,
And he was MVP.
yeah,
Like,
he's not just like really good at throwing the ball. He was the best.
best.
Like, of a lot of other people.
Glad your
And
dog appreciates it.
yeah, he's super lucky to get to play fetch with Aaron Rodgers. Anyways, let's talk about another game. I
got
think more exciting news in terms of like players that you wanted to see show up and do well. Dak Prescott certainly looked fantastic against the Falcons, 43-3. Another blowout game. That is the theme of tonight, is blowout games. Dak had 300 passing, just close to 300 passing yards. He had 296 yards for 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. that's the thing I was really excited about was seeing him get that rushing touchdown again.
Because everybody was concerned about that injury last week.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb, wow. The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town. Again, though, this was against a team going back to the Chiefs looked fantastic against the Raiders. Was it just the Raiders? Okay, the Cowboys looked fantastic against the Falcons, but so do most teams. So,
right.
Except for the Saints last week. That didn't make any sense.
It seems like all of these teams, when they're coming back from their bye week, are having some type of hangover.
It's a bye week hangover.
Bye week hangover. That's exactly what's happening.
They're partying too hard.
But the Cowboys have looked like this all season, except for that one game last week. We're not going to talk about.
No, we don't speak of it again.
We skipped last week. We're done. And that was that. But no, I think that the Cowboys, truly, I think that they're the best team in the NFC.
I agree. I think that they're right up there. I think that they have a decent stretch of games as well, but I want to look at them with you. So their next 4 games, they have Chiefs, Raiders, Saints, and the Washington football team in this stretch. Is this a lineup that you feel really good about, Dak? Or are you like, there's a couple hits and misses in here for me?
Chiefs, Raiders, I feel really good about. Saints
and Washington.
Saints and Washington. Saints is really the only one that makes me a little bit nervous, which I know people are going to think is weird, but defensively, they've been okay at shutting down Dak's type of quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we watched it happen with Brady.
Yeah, we did.
So if they take away his weapons, which I think that they probably will, he's probably going to run a little bit more. So as long as he's healthy, I don't see a huge problem. But really, for the next 2 games, I think that he's solid, and I'd start him.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, and honestly, he's Dak Prescott. I mean, it's going to be hard pressed for me to bench him in any format that I have him. I'm going to get him started, but tempering expectations maybe that week. And then Washington has been a team that obviously everyone expected their defense to be out of this world this season. And it's just like a random light switch that a kid is playing with week in and week out. Just like it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. And it's like, can someone decide to leave the switch on? Because this is ridiculous. So I feel like it could be a decent matchup depending on which Washington defense they get that week.
Absolutely. And I think one thing that you have to look at in the NFL is teams that are coached really well or have veterans that can niche really well. You start seeing each game they're progressively getting better. The teams that continue to stay up and down, hot and cold, like what you're talking about, through like week 10 and 11, those are the ones that you have to say, it's always going to be a hot and cold situation for this season. So I'm not super worried about Washington, but then again, we had last week. So
yeah, no, I think it's constantly going to keep doing this. And let's keep talking about Washington too, because obviously they showed up and absolutely surprised all of us by beating the Bucks in, I think, a matchup that we anticipated Brady to walk away with handsomely and for Taylor Heineke to look like a shadow of himself. However, he looked pretty good. He was able to pull together the team for a team win. He only had 1 passing touchdown, but he had 256 passing yards. And Antonio Gibson looked like Antonio Gibson.
Wow. That was the difference maker.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 rushing touchdowns for Tone Gibson. I mean, when the last time he had these digits, he had 2 touchdowns as well. Almost identical stats, actually. In week 5 was when the last time we saw him go off, and that was against the Saints. He had 20 attempts for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns in that one. This weekend, he had 24 attempts, 64 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This is very close.
This is very close.
Very stats.
I didn't see that, yeah.
Yeah, no, they're really close. And I mean, obviously you want this more consistent because that 3-week stretch against the Chiefs, Packers, and Broncos is just brutal. If you're starting him as your running back 2, maybe running back 1 in some situations, you can't have that week in and week out.
No, not at all. But he looked good. You know who did not look good? Who I dropped, and I should have dropped a long time ago? Mike Evans. And I immediately got a text message saying, "Did you know that you dropped Mike Evans?" Yes, I did. Leave me alone. If you want him, take him. I'm done.
Yeah, it's just And to be honest, like when you let someone go and they get the one touchdown, you're kicking yourself. But if you look at the stat line as a whole, outside of that one touchdown, it's extremely underwhelming. I
Mhm.
don't think it was a bad move to get rid of him. I don't think it was.
No, and if he was going to have a game, it should have been this week.
It should have. He should have had double, if not triple, these points against this
Absolutely.
team, and he did not. And that to me also says that when the Bucks are struggling and he's gonna be throwing it, Brady's gonna be throwing it out and absolutely trying to go all out to win if they're from behind, and he's
Mhm.
not looking at Mike Evans. Come on,
Especially it's been a month since they've won. So,
that's weird.
Brady's, like, dying inside.
Oh yeah, no, he's angry Brady. You don't want to see Brady when he's angry. You know,
No.
he just gets all vegan angry and like just like
Vegan angry.
rage, vegan and like I need sugar. Give me one strawberry, one. Oh no,
Hypoglycemic.
Brady's craving sugar. He's mad.
Snickers is, like, faunching at the bit.
I know.
We got you, Brady. No, Mike Evans should have gone off this week, and he did not. I'm super disappointed.
Very, very underwhelming. I had Leonard Fournette going in a couple leagues. Also underwhelming there. He should have had more and did not. That was
Mhm.
disappointing. Only 47 rushing yards, only 45 receiving yards. It's just,
They did do a good job at shutting down those looks.
yeah.
I also feel like people are gonna come at me for this. I feel like they gave Brady too much power in decision making right then. Like they
Sure.
should have run some like straight schematic
Mm-hmm.
plays
Yeah. You
that
feel
didn't
like
come from Brady making the decisions.
yeah, maybe Brady was getting cute, trying to fix it, trying to do his normal solves, but like let's zoom out a little bit, big picture, try and get back to a couple things just to get the rhythm back. No,
Yeah,
I
because
hear you. I
it
don't think
looked
that's
like he
crazy.
lost the team. Is
Yeah.
what it looked like to me. Like it looked like he had the episode where he was being hangry and everybody was like scared, like, do we talk to you? Do we not talk to you? We want to help you, but like, here's some tissues and they bounce. Like,
Yeah,
that's
no.
what the team looked like. You couldn't see any chemistry.
No, things were off. This would have been a great game if Gronk had been healthy. If
Mhm.
they got down like this would have then been one of those 2-touchdown Gronk games because Brady's like, okay, screw all of this.
My guy.
Go into my guy, you and me, forever, compadre. And just like he would go to him and then it would have solved a lot of issues. But I mean, I'm just looking at it and I hope that he gets Gronk back soon. He's still out with
Great
his
take. That was a
backs?
great take. I agree with that.
No, thank you. I mean, I think that like, and maybe I'm just saying that because I'm like looking at my roster and I'm just like, if Gronk had played, I would have had
Please
more
come
points.
back.
I don't know if it's so much of a good take as I'm just like scraping it. I wish I had points from somewhere. I'll call it what it is. I lost a couple leagues this week and it hurt, but it is
I
what
feel
it
that.
is, And then, going forward into next week, obviously better days are going to be ahead for Brady and for the Bucks. It's going to get better, but I mean, if you're someone that has Mike Evans, I would be shipping him off as quickly as I could. They got the Giants next week, so
I didn't even try to get a trade. I was volunteering at the old people home and I just dropped him. I was like, I'm done.
This was a thank you next.
outta
Like
here.
you're like, get off. You need to get
Yeah.
out of get on with your life. Move on. He's your breakup album. Taylor just dropped her Red album again.
Yep, I listened to that all weekend.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful.
me too. Dude, me too. Same. We're right there.
Yep.
Any other takeaways from this weekend you want to talk about?
No.
You don't want to take the chance to beat up on my Steelers for tying with the worst team in the NFL?
Nope, because my Ravens got beat by Miami. So
touche.
You said, let's talk about the blowouts. And I was like, yeah, let's talk about the blowouts. Let's not talk about our teams.
It's better days are ahead.
I will say, Mason Rudolph, poor guy, he's got heart. Does not have the talent, I feel like, to be a successful NFL quarterback. But he sure gave his all. He really did.
The little
He's
boy
just not
tried,
very
didn't he?
good.
He did try. He did try his hardest. I was really hoping that we would be able to see a little bit of Dwayne Haskins, because to me, like, if we're not doing well, let's just see what we've got. You got to see what pieces we have.
Put it out there.
Why not? Like, what's
Why
the
are
worst
they
that could happen?
not?
I
Why
don't.
are they not?
I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of secretly hoping that Tomlin has this like secret kind of, sensei kind of like not yet, like that he doesn't want to unveil him yet, and like hopefully when he does, it's just like boom, because it's like you thought we were dealing with Rudolph for the future, but guess what? I've been working on this side project, and it's Dwayne
Like
Haskins.
he did last year to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, with Duck Hodges.
Yeah.
Look what I can do.
I remember watching the Steelers all the year last year, like, oh, I have to watch another Steelers game. And then all of a sudden, important games came around and they were just like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah, I know. I will call it what it is. We're not having a great season, but I will always stand behind my coach, because Mike Tomlin he's just really good at what he does.
Yeah.
Like even if the boys don't show up that week, he gets it right the next week. He makes adjustments. Like, I mean, he's my 101 of like, I hope I could interview him some point, even for like 5 minutes, ask one question for football related, like anything, or not even just life related, like cut to Sam, random question. What's your favorite go-to Friday night dish that you like to cook, Tomlin? Like, I would just ask him anything because I just want to talk to him. He's just he's brilliant.
He says during Monday Night Football, I like to sit in my living room with a George Foreman grill. It's really going to come full circle.
I just try and relax on Monday nights and just throw on the Foreman. Yeah, Tomlin, we're the same.
Me too.
Me too.
How'd you know?
Can we hang out?
Look, we're manifesting it. It's gonna happen. I have a ton of respect for him. I really do. Hopefully both of our teams pulled together.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we talked about a little bit of bright spot from my team. I still love my coach. Life's going to get better. But I did love getting to see Lamar's number retired at the Card Stadium. That was fantastic. What a moment
beautiful.
For him.
And I love that he just wore his emotions on his sleeve. He was so genuine. And I was just, go Lamar. Go Lamar.
I do love him to pieces. I told you I got to watch him when he played for Louisville there. And he's an amazing player. Obviously, I think even when he has a great week, he's underestimated somehow in the media the next week. And it's like, didn't he just do something amazing? He's constantly underestimated. But, I'm happy to have him in our division, because having him in our division is going to force my team to get better at quarterback in the offseason.
There you go.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron.
I do love that he's just, he knows what's going on and he's aware, but he thinks it's funny. Like in his interview, whenever he said, not bad for a running back.
Yeah, no, he definitely plays with it. So that's also great too. And I think speaks to his mental toughness. He's far more mature than I think anyone gives him credit for, in that he really doesn't let that stuff weigh on him. And I think that one of my favorite coach quarterback relationships, watching that on the sideline, seeing them work together. I love seeing him with Harbaugh. You can tell their connection is just so strong. He's got his full mentor in Harbaugh, and they click so well. And he's just like, what do you want to do? And he leans on him, and they work together so well. It's fun to see.
Yeah. Big trust.
Big trust.
I love it. I'm going to get gushy here. I love Coach Harbaugh. I think that he truly cares about his players.
He does.
I love Lamar because Lamar has the biggest heart. The things that he does off the field, a lot of those Ravens, the Bozeman Center, but they just do a lot for their community, which I think is really amazing. I did have one fangirl moment where I was on a FaceTime with somebody who's with Lamar. Yeah. So I heard him talking, and I couldn't understand anything that he was saying. And I was just trying to soak it in for a second. So I just looked like a little schoolgirl, and I was like, yeah, I have no idea what he said to me. No idea.
Maybe it wasn't that necessarily you didn't understand, but it was just like the heat, the emotions went to your ears, and it just clouded. It was just like all of a sudden noise canceling headphones went on, and you're like in your head just.
Yeah, we're going to go with that. But when he's not doing interviews, there's no enunciating, and I can say that because I don't enunciate well, but there were some words I'm not sure are real words, but it's fine.
I love it though. I love it. He's such a good guy, such a good heart. I love him. So you know what,
Coming
Steelers
from
Nation,
a Steelers fan too.
yeah. And like, oh my gosh, I was having this off air conversation with TK mode on Twitter, and I was fangirling over Lamar, and he's like, I'm so surprised you're saying this about a Steeler and about a Raven. And I'm like, dude, I know that I'm a Steelers fan and I'm a diehard Steelers fan, but I'm also a fan of the game. Like, I love fantasy football because it helped open up the world to me of like all players and all coaches and all styles. And I just love the game, and I just love watching him play, and there's nothing wrong in that. And like, yeah,
No.
it's frustrating when you lose to them, but it's like, dude, that means we got to get our shit together so that we can have a win. I mean, they're gonna have to cut out that curse word later, but that's okay. Sorry, Doc.
Keep them
Sorry,
on their
Danger.
toes. Keep them on their toes.
At the 35-25 second mark, you're gonna have to cut out some curse words. But I love the game, and I know you're the same way. Like, you just, student of the game, you just love watching it, and I can't get enough of it. Even if I get frustrated by a loss, I love getting to watch these players do what they do.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Look Back podcast with Sam and Maddie. We will be back again next Monday. And don't forget to check out all the other content, seasonal and DFS tools, as well as premium access to our staff for all your fantasy sports questions in the members-only Discord right here at drroto.com. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit,